Вітаю! Сьогодні говоримо про чергову брехню з боку держави-агресора.
Greetings. Today we are talking about another lie from the aggressor state. Fakes and propaganda do not stop even for a day. And today we refute the statement of the head of Russia's foreign intelligence service, Naryshkin, who made a special statement to the Russian state agency RIA Novosti that Poland is allegedly preparing to annex Ukrainian territory. This lie has only one goal: to justify Russia's aggression against Ukraine by showing that Russia is not alone in such intentions. So Naryshkin said that according to the information of their special service, Poland is forcing preparations for the annexation of the Lviv, Ivano-Frankivsk and most of the Ternopil regions. Moreover, it seems that the Polish leadership, according to Naryshkin, I quote, intends to hold referendums in western Ukraine to substantiate their claims to Ukrainian lands. It is clear for what purpose this fake is made in order to justify the fake referendums that were held by the Russian aggressor in the occupied territories. In the meantime, Russian propaganda continues to promote the topic that a large number of Polish soldiers are allegedly fighting on the territory of Ukraine, and this also fits into their propaganda line. In particular, the state propagandist of Russia, Solovyev, published a message on his Telegram channel with a reference to the fake Polish publication independent political daily Solovyev Verbatim. A separate cemetery appeared in Poland for Polish mercenaries killed in Donbass. More than 1,200 Polish citizens were killed, the propagandist reports. But if you look at who he refers to, there are very interesting things on the surface. In particular, this portal, which is actually published in Polish, is a fake publication that was exposed in Poland itself for spreading Russian propaganda. In particular, for example, materials referring to the Russian state propaganda portal Russia Today. Other polls have established, for example, that they are reprinting without permission messages from legal Polish media in order to create the illusion of some of their editorial work. But if you found out, you can see that this portal, which has been operating since the 14th year, has been repeatedly identified as an organization that spreads disinformation, especially on military topics. In particular, the editor-in-chief who is indicated on this portal, Adam Kaminsky, is a fictional person, as well as the journalist Wojciech, mentioned on the site Brożek. In particular, this portal previously publicated completely fabricated information that the Polish military contingent allegedly had losses among the command during its stay in Iraq during the attack on the bases of the American armed forces. Also, the portal regularly reports on alleged protests taking place among European countries in connection with the supply of weapons to Ukraine because of Russian aggression. They focus a great deal of attention on protests provoked by Russia itself, particularly in Moldova, and also claim that the joint drills, the so-called drills, conducted by the Russians and Belarusian militaries, are aimed only at defensive purposes. This and other nonsense is always only of Russian origin. Another fake that deserves separate attention is the fake video spread on the Solovyev channel. Also among propagandists is a fake video posted by the Qatari channel Al Jazeera that Ukrainian fans draw Hitler's mustache to the symbol of the World Cup. This video is fake. That is, it never was published on Al Jazeera and these facts never existed at all. They have nothing to do with reality. No Ukrainian fans were detained in Qatar and they did not take any such actions. Moreover, the names of the Qatari stadium were wrong, and the Qatari police officers who appear in this story are actually Qatari military. In other words, this is completely created from scratch fake news, which, by the way, is not the first time that Russian propaganda has used it to mislead an international audience as well as domestic consumers. After the strike on the train station in Kramatorsk, there was also a falsified BBC story about the alleged involvement of the Ukrainian military in this crime, which was committed by Russian aggressors. Well, another fake spread by the Russian propaganda concerns the sentence that was handed down, 15 years in prison, to one of the collaborators and employees of the Russian security service who lived in Odessa. Russian propagandists, in particular Solovyev, report that this man was given such a sentence because he allegedly simply hung a Russian flag on one of the houses in Odessa, but in fact he was accused of a laundry list of crimes. In particular, he was ordered by the Federal Security Service to conduct subversive activities in Odessa. He was also involved in transferring information about the Ukrainian armed forces and military facilities in favor of the Russian special services. news, recruiting former law enforcement officers for subversive activities against Ukraine. This and other things do not make it into the Russian propaganda news, thus creating the illusion that a man seems to have been imprisoned for 15 years just for the Russian flag, which is the same fake on the part of the Russian state propaganda machine. This concludes the briefing with my traditional appeal not to believe Russian propaganda, but to trust only the Ukrainian telethon, the Ukrainian local authorities, and the political and military leadership. See you soon.